Syria's new president says it plain. We are scared of Israel, not the other way around. As fragile talks inch forward, Israel keeps striking. Syria warns against partition, and shelling shatters lives in Aleppo. Diplomacy grinds on, but mistrust runs deeper, and the region waits for the next spark. Syria's transitional president, Ahmed Al-Sharaa, is warning that the Middle East could face renewed instability unless Israel reaches a security agreement with his government, one that respects Syrian sovereignty. Al-Sharaa, who led the forces that ousted Bashar al-Assad late last year, made the remarks during his first visit to New York for the United Nations General Assembly. Speaking at an event hosted by the Middle East Institute, Al-Sharaa said the conflict with Israel is not of Syria's choosing, and emphasized that his country fears Israeli power rather than threatening it. The former al-Qaeda chief pointed to ongoing Israeli airstrikes and cross-border operations, saying these actions are undermining fragile stability in Syria and raising the risk of broader regional fallout.
We are not the ones creating problems for Israel. We are scared of Israel, not the other way around. There are multiple risks with Israel stalling on the negotiations and insisting on violating our airspace and incursions into our territory.
Al-Sharaa also rejected recent suggestions that Syria could be partitioned, an idea reportedly gaining traction as Israel steps up its engagement with the Druze minority in southern Syria. He argued that any move toward dividing Syria would have serious consequences, not only for his own country, but also for neighboring Jordan, Iraq, and Turkey.
Jordan is under pressure, and any talk of partitioning Syria will hurt Iraq, will hurt Turkey. That will take us all back to square one.
Al-Sharaa cautioned that such a scenario would reverse hard-fought gains made since the end of Syria's prolonged civil war, which spanned over 15 years. While expressing interest in a limited security arrangement with Israel, Sharaa downplayed the possibility of a broader diplomatic breakthrough, including formal recognition of the Israeli state. For now, Syria's new leadership appears focused on maintaining territorial integrity and avoiding another descent into regional chaos. Syria and Israel are reportedly close to reaching a de-escalation agreement that could ease tensions along their contested border. According to US Special Envoy for Syria Tom Barrack, the deal would require Israel to halt its airstrikes, while Syria agrees to refrain from moving heavy machinery or equipment near the Israeli frontier. Speaking on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly in New York, Barrack described the negotiations as a cautious but positive step toward a broader security arrangement. He noted that while US President Donald Trump had hoped for an announcement this week, progress has been slowed partly due to the Jewish New Year holiday, Rosh Hashanah. Barrack added that all parties appear to be approaching the talks in good faith. The two countries have a long history of hostility, with Israel carrying out over 1,000 strikes and more than 400 ground incursions into Syrian territory since December, when rebel forces led by Syria's current president, Ahmed al-Sharaa, overthrew the Assad regime. Al-Sharaa has expressed concern that Israel may be stalling the talks, emphasizing Syria's apprehension toward Israeli actions. In parallel with these diplomatic efforts, Syria is moving forward with establishing its first parliament since Assad's ouster. The upcoming elections, scheduled for early October, will fill 2/3 of the 210 seats through regional electoral colleges selected by government-appointed committees. The remaining third will be appointed directly by Al-Sharaa. The process has faced criticism for its centralized nature and restrictive eligibility criteria, which exclude supporters of the former regime and those advocating for secession or foreign intervention. Critics also warn of limited minority and female representation, potentially consolidating Sunni Muslim dominance. Al-Sharaa has defended the process as a practical step amid ongoing instability, calling it temporary and necessary given Syria's fractured political landscape and population displacement. The new assembly's powers remain limited under a provisional constitution, marking an early stage in Syria's uncertain path toward governance and national reconciliation. The Syrian Ministry of Defense and the Syrian Democratic Forces, or SDF, have reached an agreement to release soldiers from the Syrian army who lost their way while moving towards the Al-Ashrafiyah neighborhood. This development comes amid ongoing negotiations aimed at easing tensions and reducing the state of high alert between the two sides. Recent reports from the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights indicate a significant military buildup in the region. On September 21st, Syrian government reinforcements arrived in Manbij city, located in eastern Aleppo countryside, bringing with them weaponry and heavy equipment. At the same time, the SDF moved heavy arms to front lines near Deir Hafa, also in Aleppo's countryside, where security forces remain on high alert. The military mobilization follows a deadly incident in Deir Hafa's Al-Tina village, where shelling attributed to the Syrian army reportedly killed 5 women and 2 children and injured 4 others. Casualty reports remain unclear as investigations continue. On September 22nd, the Syrian transitional government increased its security presence across Aleppo. Convoys of general security and military vehicles were seen patrolling the city, including in the Sheikh Maqsoud and Ashrafiyah neighborhoods. The SDF's internal security forces accused a faction linked to Damascus's Ministry of Defense of launching an attack on their positions, a claim met with reported defensive action by the SDF. The transitional government has yet to comment officially. This tension contrasts with the March 11 agreement between transitional government leader Ahmed Al-Sharaa and SDF commander Mazloum Abdi. The deal called for integrating civilian and military institutions affiliated with the Kurdish self-administration into the Syrian state framework, a step towards potential reconciliation amid ongoing regional volatility.